Hello. Thank y'all for joining us here at the Redwood Poetry Festival Drag and Poetry Show. How are y'all doing? You're gonna have to make as much noise as possible. It's sparse and still crowded in here because this is the outer space, and that's what we do here. I love this venue. I'm very happy that we're back here. And I'm very, very proud of Ollie and my partner Susanna who put this show together. And of course, thank you to Outer Space for letting us be here. Yes. This is the third annual Redwood Poetry Festival. And we have an amazing lineup of poets and drag performers here tonight. And you know, with all of this going on, I think we should probably just get right into it, you know. The first poet coming up to the stage last night released their very first chapbook ever, and it's amazing. I'm not just saying that because I'm the publisher. That's one of the reasons, but it's not the most truthful reason. The most truthful reason is because I've watched this poet go from a scared kid to a damned adult that ain't afraid to speak their mind and speak their poems to and in front of anyone. I'm incredibly proud of this poet, and after hearing them, you will be too. Y'all make some noise for Autumn.
I'm addicted to you like you to caffeine. Each sip a drug we don't acknowledge as we start to crave more and more of that deep brown in your cup, in your eyes. The energy that pours out in waves. To me, the sound of your voice is as sweet as sugar, and your presence as bright as the sun sparkling off the half-melted ice in your cold brew, half-melted like our time together. The incoming sun making it slip through small fingers faster and faster until there's nothing left but a craving for more. More hearing you rant at drivers in the street, more chasing down your moving car, more Froyo Fridays, more everything. More caffeine, because you've already had too much, but there's only 3 sips left in the cup, and go big or go home is what you told me. As you're spinning out 1,000 words a minute, and I can't think of a single one. My tongue failing me where my pencil never does. Caffeine aiding you where you're already shining. Your cup is empty now as you pull up to our houses. You smile, and I wave goodbye. Thank you for the ride, and even though we're already far past the line of too much, we both want another cup of coffee. Will mentioned my chapbook. This next one is in the chapbook. I have a couple copies with me tonight, but also there's going to be more likely at other Redwood Poetry Fest events. So yeah, show up to those. I am from Paper Sons, legal daughters, a history of truth and lie like yin and yang that melds and separates in crisp, rounded lines. They raised me like origami. Like the rest of my family, I watched and learned to fold in on myself again and again and again, become smaller, more manageable, more appealing. Hold crisp, clean lines if you got it right the first time. If not, hold your immortal mistakes, your strange, wrinkled failure. Fold self into good daughter, good student, good person. My folds always came out crooked. A mess of imperfections, if not good enough. Crumpled sheet after crumpled sheet of wasted paper litters the floor, defiant as they are flammable. They are so flammable. Sometimes flames tinge my scratch paper mess with brown. Sometimes they burn it to a blackened pane. More often, they leave me alone. Leave me too pristine for my wrinkled form, letting me forget the parts of myself I wish to remember, wish to celebrate, wish to keep sacred and close to my heart and closed to tourists. They let me become a tourist in my own heart's temple. When this happens, I cannot remember. My origins are paper, not origami. I cannot remember I am more poet than strange, folded creature, more product of dreams dreamt long ago on the other side of the world than budding change-bringer. That which is made of dreams cannot be burnt to ash, only molded like clay, again and again until I am satisfied.
One more time for Autumn, everyone. Thank you very much, Autumn. Great job. Autumn did an amazing job last night as well. Last night was the first event in the Redwood Poetry Festival. It's also a monthly event at Siren Song every second Wednesday, right? Yeah. And that's an ongoing show that will be continuing to happen throughout the year. Next month, the feature is Harvey, who is sitting there and will be up delivering a poem in a little bit. And that's one of, what's that?
Won't be this awkward on stage. Come to the black hat.
Yeah, you will. That's part of the fun, though. We're poets. We're not supposed to be comfortable anywhere, I don't think. That's part of the joy of being a poet. We also have weekly workshops at Synapsis in Eureka. We unlock the doors at 10. We really get started at 11. And the next poet coming up to the stage is a poet that originally we met at Word Humboldt, and they began coming to the workshops. And they're like a diehard at the workshops. They're there every week. If they're not there, I'm worrying about them and texting them and asking them if they're hurt or in a ditch somewhere, because I'm a dad and that's what I do. But they've gone from an audience member to a workshop, co-compatriot to now I would warmly say my friend. And I'm very proud of the work that they have done to and with themselves, as well as their work in poetry. So y'all make some noise next for Allah. I didn't say his real name. I said his name.
Well, you said llamas, and then you went like, "Lah," and I was like, "Is that me?" I'm not sure.
I didn't say his real name. I said what I call him. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
This is Lorenzo.
Hi. I got 3 poems tonight. They're all a little bit somber, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Okay, so that's what you're in for.
Let me out.
Guess it's just what I've been writing. Okay, this one's called On a Train to New York City. I'm lost again in my mind on the other coast, and I wish I knew what it was that is keeping me from ambition, from assurance, and forgiveness of myself. Someone just opened a bag of popcorn on the silent carriage I'm gliding within to the greatest city between the 2 biggest oceans. Is making the whole cart smell like comfort. But I don't feel like I'm on a couch, under a blanket, or in a theater with a lady. I feel lost on my way to Penn Station, where maybe I will actually get lost and ironically find myself there. In the external chaos on this side of the country. You can see how the disease of the West spread like spilled ink over time. The bricks and buildings and green of the countryside make it feel like I've scrolled halfway back to Europe. And as much as I want to, I can't refresh the page or rewrite the chapter. but I can keep scrolling through my distracting screen to see the girls in California have started posting their photos of river days, where I imagine myself sitting along the banks with friends, pretending not to think of my body that I almost love. Most of the time, it seems at every moment I am out of reach of my best self. The one I fantasize about just weeks ago, where I'm so productive and on top of everything in my life, which will never be the case unless I give in to my shadow and love him the same as we love solar eclipses in their brief, predictable darkness, that make all the crickets so sure of their voices, as I am sure my body and mind will die on this earth, as I am sure my breath will keep me calm within myself always, as I am sure knowing myself will change and forgiving myself is hard as I am. Thank you. Though it might not seem like it, that was actually a really fun vacation. I enjoyed my time in New York City. The trains are a very pensive place, I guess, I learned. Okay. This one's called Self-Love. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm doing, like starting a poem with no concept of its finish and just letting go and trusting the invisible. Maybe I need to trust myself more. Maybe it's just patience that I lack. There's too much confusion to allow for self-love, a thing I rarely feel, not because it's not there, but because I haven't learned how to receive from myself. I can't tell if being proud of myself is enough or if I'm missing something. I want my own love to curl in my lap and fall asleep, to hide under covers with me and whisper, or to sit in the rain and smile because coldness is a way of giving up what I don't want to do. It is harder to give up with company. Words are fleeting companions, so I need myself right now. If only I could see you. I know where you are, just not how to reach you. You won't disappear like words, who stay long enough for you to fall in love, but always end as reality collapses in the silence before the lips part. Thank you. One more sip of water. I always like to say this because, as Will mentioned, I love the workshops. This was written recently at a workshop.
New shit.
New shit. Yeah, if you're even just slightly curious, show up. It's not that hard. It's a friendly space. Nice old building. Some creaky floors. It's a vibe. This is called Thoughts on Beauty. The granite mountains that have been excavated slowly from the ugly dirt shine and are honored for their faces. One of the few times I have felt pure peace was swimming across a clear blue lake among them, just a small worm in a huge gray bowl of rock, and lay my naked worm body in the sun and finally appreciated the flesh where I find myself. Somewhere in me, I see beauty. Is it in the mind, the heart? Where in me, when I look around and feel a smile creep in front of my tongue, is the eye that sees beauty? If I could find that spot, I would tell you. If I knew, I might bother to remind myself that I am an expression of beauty deserving to look at my reflection with assurance. But I doubt, and I worry, and I think I'm not worthy to be viewed with the same eyes that see the soul of these granite mountains and these alpine streams. And I guess what I want to say is, how do you keep the confident facade afloat when you know you're beautiful but don't believe it? When the world around me is so pretty it hurts to believe I'm not a part of that. How do I convince myself of otherwise? Navigate the fault in my thoughts, the familiar place of irrational wonder. How do I not fall into that deep, dark crack? Thank you.
One more time for Lorenzo, please. So the joke is, I'm old. That's mostly the joke. Because when I was a kid, there was this really, really famous guy named Lorenzo Almond, and thank you, Renegade. Thank you. Flo J is the only. All right, that tracks. But but I loved that show, man, and that was my dude. I loved this guy so much. I thought he was so cool. And so when Lorenzo first started coming to the workshops and to Word Humble, I couldn't remember his name because I have epilepsy and I can't remember anything. And I also just can't remember things. And so with those two things combined, I could not remember Lorenzo's name. And so then I just started calling him Llama. And so that's what I introduced him as, Llama. Like there's a llama gonna walk in here and yell poems into the microphone because that's who I am. Yeah. So next poet coming to the stage, I'll try and fuck this one up too, is my kid, so I can say whatever I want. And what I want to say is nice things because they said nice things about me last night. But Harvey is kind of responsible for all this, being as I was about to move away before we did any of these festival things. I was about to move away from here, and then I met some 11-year-old kid that I was working with at the middle school, and now I'm his dad, and he is a poet that not only did I publish poems alongside in a chapbook, but I went on a whole ass tour with, and I kind of opened for him is what it is. Once he gets up here, you'll see what I mean. Y'all make some noise for Harvey Gray.
Get back on your horse, son. Quit all your goddamn caterwauling. Eyes wander. Like a wild animal, the sun has been staring me down lately, and I want her so bad I have to turn myself in. Boil over used to mean buck off. I fall in love a lot, like the way one might be thrown from a horse. Sudden, jerky movement and a hard landing. Pain sound, thick flannel shirt, not much help. Sturdy denim pants, such thin skin. What I say about them good for nothing, sure as hell fit to be tied. Damn crow bait. The movie theater is expensive. Air conditioned, cool and cavernous. When we sit this close in the dark, no one can see us, and her little finger brushes up against nothing, touches my hand. There, the armrest between our seats, twitching to life several rows back in the pitch black, and miles away, decades ago, is everything else. Up there, freshman boys laugh loudly at the part of the movie where men kiss on the mouth. The sound echoes in the space richly. I don't know, I don't find one thing funny about it. Are you all right, son? I don't think I am okay. The sunlight feels cold across the bridge of my nose. I mistake every closing line for an open invitation at night. There is waiting. Be easy now, boy, or you're fixin' to... She finds me at night, appears from any place I won't see coming. She really thinks this is enough of a chase for both of us. Sometimes I feel like I made her up. And then she looks at me, her eyes glinting like sharp little pieces of Flintstone caught under the streetlights, and I am so screwed. What if this is all we get? I keep trying to ask her. She keeps closing her eyes. I keep shutting the hell up. You're doing fine. You're doing just fine, Hoss. Uncorking a wild mare ain't no different from taming a woman, as long as you keep your heart where it ought to be. There. In your chest. No place else. Let her know who it is that's breaking who, and dear Lord, who art in heaven, you hold on tight now. My brown eyes shine. Gold surrender to the sunlight. I wish she knew that, well, nothing to be done about it now. I wish she knew. Get back to it now, son. That's right. One boot, and then the other. Thank you for letting me do weird cowboy accents on this microphone. It's a good feeling. I'm very pleased to be here. This is the 3rd annual Redwood Poetry Festival. What a wonderful place to be on a Thursday night. I'm very gay.
Yeah.
That's the whole thought. Thank you. This next poem is about that, and so is every poem if we get really down to it. This is called Silk Chiffon for Girls Named Sean. I know you're gonna get my ass for the spelling. I know. Call it a last-ditch effort for anonymity or immunity, as if I could be immune to you. Huh. There is a stark difference between pretty girls and movie star good looks, as my grandmother would say. I don't want you to think this is all about you. You are not an idea or a figment of my imagination, right? This is me copping to the parasocial anti-romantic of it all. I'm telling you, I am not good at love letters, but I do write fan mail. Here you go. Make of it what you always wanted to. Sweetheart, come on. If I am the passably pretty blonde with a disturbed heart-on for hot best friend harboring a dark secret, you are unfortunately gorgeous, too grown up at 19 and a half to convincingly make the cut. Luckily, this is not a movie. This is just the two of us. For once, feels like a string pulled taut. You flicker. Dark hair shining and gasping incredulous anger. I like you, all fired up, even when it means casualties. You might be the murder weapon in that case, or a friendship locket as it breaks open. I said you wouldn't be an image in my hands, so you are not under my fingertips, ever. Not really, just in the camera when I frame it right, the red candle lens flare on your birthday, a wish goes out beautifully, like a supernova. Vengeful, you know. Spent the meantime since then trying to safely figure you out from far away. Distance grants perspective, that's telescope logic. You never liked being pinned down after all, not when you were close enough to touch. You know me. Wanted. Badly. Always. That didn't make me special in the realm of you. We both knew that. More about proving something, right? Or trying to catch honest glimpses of passing miracles through a series of mirrors. Yours. That you are. Mine. That I was there to see it. Stoned, blind, half to death, with my nose in, honest to God, a red plastic Solo cup on the last day of school, blushing no thanks to liquor, mostly 'cause there was nowhere else I'd rather be. hoping nobody thinks to ask who the fuck I am, festering by the Bluetooth speaker in the corner. No one did. You were floating from admirer to admirer, making rounds like the articulate wrists of a well-trained puppeteer. They saw only the strings you wanted them to see and missed everything else, which is to say, I am missing you right now, same as I did back then. Ain't that an ugly, honest thing between us? Wow. Can I do one more? Yeah. I want to do one. This is a poem I did last night for the first time at the Black Hat, and it felt good to do it. It's the, can I say what this is, the beginning of this poem, the opener?
I was going to say.
This is going to be the first poem in my full length that happens. It's called Sorry for All the Shit I Said While I Was Sober. And this is the opener. It's a poem that is named after a Kimya Dawson song. And I've been listening to that song like my whole life, basically. And every time I think I get what the song is about and I really understand it, something else happens. And I'm like, I did not know what the fuck I was talking about before, but now I actually get it. Yeah. The poem's called Delicate Cycle. The last place I ever saw real, actual magic was the laundromat. It wasn't anything specific about communal laundry or that day. Maybe it was. Surround, sound, clink, clack of mechanisms and change. Everything has to participate in this wholly disjointed choir of noise to make anything happen. The sound cleanses, a place where nothing is ever finished. Emerald Triangle, well, the large industrial washing machines might as well be redwoods. Yes, or pulpits humming, lasting, here, forever. There, sharp corner. Comfortable, hard, kinda necessary, heavy, and practical, only becomes dangerous over time like real pain, and I stay because this is all a delicate cycle where I repeatedly take bricks from that deep and cavernous well inside myself, replace it all slowly with emptiness. Centrifugal force scrubs us wholly under these cracked fluorescent lights. It might be all I know, might as well be. Now, the memory has aged unrecognizably, been painted yellow as a bruise, tarnished with perspective. Has to be love, Jesus. The only love story I have ever been a part of was wavering faith, scary-ass conviction, looked for meaning and excuses and adventure in all the perfect places, worshipped strangers, thought I could get away with only forecasting nice miracles. Swore there was some small and precious and rugged, thrumming, stupid thing inside me before everything good was scuffed and polished off, got away, and I, forsaken, stayed. The cycle is this: naive, grow, learn, regret, regress, rinse, repeat. The last time I ever saw real magic, it was already leaving me, flickering halfway out the door. I am always stuck somewhere Between then and now, there and here, no matter how hard I try to absolve myself of all these memories of us.
Harvey Gray, everybody, one more time. Great job. Yes, Swim with Elephants is the publishing company that I gratefully acquired from my former publisher. And I am very proud of the books that we've put out so far. My partner Susanna and I have been the editing team really behind it so far, and you can find all those books on Swim with Elephants Books on Instagram and swimwithelephants.com, and soon all of the chapbooks will be up there for sale as well, which most publishing companies don't do. Hoping that works. So the final poet in this portion of the evening is my other kid that's here. So this is also the person with my partner Susanna who put everything together, booked the entire show, and is a performer in multiple sections of the evening. Wow. There's so many wonderful things that I want to say about this person, but I will say that they are, like, legitimately, not just because that's what my dad nickname for my kid is, but they are a large portion of the sunshine in my life. Like any good thing, they make better just by being around. And there's not many people that can do that, right? And Ollie can definitely do that. So everyone make some noise for my sunshine, Ollie Mitchell. Where you at, Ollie?
Psych.
To the drunk girl who said hi to me near the bathrooms at an emo show. 1. I like to pretend I didn't recognize you. Knowing who you are only cheapens how good it feels to feel pretty, to feel seen. 2. A transphobic, fake hippie, stoner bitch who's taking great pleasure in leaving me like a roach to drink her little bottle of aerosol said hi to me at an emo show while she took turns smoking weed and coughing up vodka and iodine, and I felt better about being alone. I don't know if I stopped feeling so guilty or if I just saw the alternative. 3. My skeleton hands remain frenzied, the full moon pounding and pulsing and smoking. She asks me how I'm doing. I say I'm all right. I don't mention how I notice every cigarette paired with small fingers and nail polish. I don't mention how long I waited for people I never invited, how much I hated talking, wanting to rip out my vocal cords, squeeze my body into the right shape, how I counted all those pinpricks and minutes, 4 leather vest matches, black Converse match, dead Kennedy's pin match, beating heart match, bleeding lungs match, stick and catch on fire and scream like a woman on fire. 5, I never see the girl again. 6, I will never see any of you again. 7, every cigarette and nip of gin tastes like a dress I do not fit, a palette I do not match, a haircut, cut, all of it off and start again. I am wicker, I am wicked limbs, I am burning and all they smell is liquor. 8, think about a skirt I should have worn. its cigarette legs. Nine. She says I look lost. I don't quite know how to answer. 10. I go back into the rain. I see another cigarette. I don't even ask. I'll be back later. But before I go, to my friends considering suicide after Wil Gibson. I worry every day that I will wake up to learn one of my friends has decided the thick gray smoke has pulled too close for comfort, has decided to cut their losses with us losers, has left me alone. I say this as if I have not died. In my head, every day. When I was younger, there was a thick gray smoke that came from nowhere. This fog of resentment and hatred embraced me like a cold lover. I used to die every day when I was younger. I used to be younger. I say this like I've grown up somewhere, like I've grown to something, reaching upwards and out. I haven't. The only thing I've learned is my friends and I smoke like chimneys on freight trains, choking out coughs over and over, and for most of my friends, a day's life is a livable one. I'm sober and alive. Sometimes I wish I was neither. The hardest lesson I've learned is that moving a plant to better soil might not save it. There is a 3% chance that after open heart surgery you could die, that recovery and a new beating heart could suffocate you. I worry every day.
You know, we got to set up for the drag thing, right? Like, bum the crowd out. Jesus Christ, how y'all doing? Shit. Are we all right out there? That was heavy. Damn. Good job, though, Ollie. Give it up for Ollie one more time. Woo! Yeah, that was intense. Like, that's absolutely one of my favorite things about poetry is the intense things that can be beautiful and how that makes them more digestible. Amazing work. All right, so next thing we're going to do is get into our drag portion of the evening. To do that, we got to set up a few things. So by all means, mingle and things like that. And we'll be bringing up the next host in just a minute. And then we'll get started with the drag portion of the evening. Just got to set up a few things, get everybody ready. But in that time, if you heard a poet that you absolutely loved, go tell them that you absolutely love them. And then we'll be back in just a minute.
We need to move the mic out of the way. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know if they're coming out.
I feel like there's a greater variety here. Yeah, me too. I've seen a lot of stuff. It'll be a joke, but it's a character.
It's a musical.
Also, it's sing me a joke.
There's a joke. But one of my favorite jokes is this guy who's at there, and it's supposed to be like in a rehabilitation for demons trying to go to heaven so that they don't get killed.
Oh, that's funny.
It's very funny.
Okay.
But like this one guy, like he has to do his budgeting for the day or something. He's like, I just missed stuff in the whole exercise. It's just like, okay, say something, like say what you're feeling, and it's like fall into the crowd and we'll catch you. And you'll see how understood you are. And he's like, I miss my henchman and I don't want to be around myself. I only don't catch you.
This is like very like not how it's supposed to work. I only demo people from my computer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. My mom's like, okay, wow.
Get the copy. Damn it.
Okay, that was funny.
That's
You
my,
did a great job.
that's a funny one.
What's happening out there?
Is it a parody?
No,
What's the music or?
yeah.
I think that there might be somebody in one of the balconies down the block that's playing music or something.
Yeah, someone's playing guitar.
Like, was it above one of the stores?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed. I just noticed it when I was driving up, so I didn't get it. Must be maybe somebody lives above the store and then like they're performing out their balcony. I have no idea.
Somebody decided that I needed to have a microphone today.
Are we starting?
Me, I decided.
We are about to get started, so please take your seats. Come on closer to the stage. It's going to be fun. There's a catwalk here, as you can see, and it ain't for the poets. Next part of the show is, this is just like my dream, you guys. You don't understand, okay? So, like, rewind time back to, like, September 1st.
It's September 1st.
It's September 1st. Oh, my God. It's almost fall. Yeah, we had, like, secured this venue for we had it for maybe 3 days. And I was like, we're going to put a show together. Here's my vision. What do you think? And Ollie was all in, of course, because that's how she rolls every time. And basically sent out a bat signal to like her friends and was like, hey, we're putting on an all ages drag show. Anybody in? And immediately within 30 seconds, there was like pings, ping, 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 pings. Yes. So I am so grateful to the performers here tonight who, busted their ass to get here and get on time and get their show right and their costumes right and their sets right and all of the things. You have a poet that comes in and a poet can literally have their poem and that's all they need is their poem. You can put a poetry show together with absolutely nothing. You just walk out on the corner in the square and just be like, I'm a poetry show now. It's not like that with drag. There's so much more involved. And so having just a very short period of time to put this together with these amazing performers who are incredibly professional. Might I add, all of them are underage. All of them are under 18. These are high school kids that were at school today. And then are like, oh no, let me just get ready and be on stage. So please give it up for our next round of performers, the Drag Queens and Kings. And that is the energy that I am talking about because you can't sit quietly and wipe your little tear off of your face for the Drag Kings and Queens. You guys, you got to bring the energy because this is what we are here for. Yes, that was amazing poetry. I loved it. I loved it all. But now it's time to rock and roll. And the first performer is actually one of the first youth drag performers I have ever seen in my life. And look at all this gray hair I have, you guys. You don't even know. They're incredible. I love watching everything they bring to the stage. I can't wait for what they bring tonight. You guys are in for an incredible treat. Please give it up, and I mean give it up for the first performer tonight, Brain R0t! Drag legend just walked in the room. If you guys wanted to know what all the excitement was in the corner over here. No, thank you so much, Brain R0t. That was incredible. I also wanted to say, in terms of like funding for this amazing show, we don't have any. Yes, and you are hearing the crickets chirping in the background. We don't have any. We don't have any. And these are children, y'all. Children. So the tip policy, since we don't like throwing money at little girls and boys, is we're going to be passing around a giant bucket, and we would like to put our 1s and 2s and 5s and 7s into the bucket. Into the bucket. And the 20s, and the 20s, and the hundreds. And the hundreds by the hundreds. Into the bucket. I don't know that you can spend $1 million bill, but you can try. If you guys didn't know, that is my child over in the corner, heckling me, like a good little heckler. But yeah, so we will be passing around this bucket. It's not breakable, so you know, when you like see a thing that you're really excited about, put the money in the bucket. You know, like the song goes. Exactly. And then also, all of those drag children that you're going to be seeing will split the money in the bucket. And we will get to, you know, buy them candy and treats and delicious yum-yums. And that's all I have to say about that. So shut up. Okay, next performer coming up to the stage. I get my handy-dandy notebook out. It's a notebook. You shut your mouth. Okay, next poet coming to the stage has, I'm starting to realize how long I've known these drag performers. It's been a couple of years now that I've known some of these children, some of these youths, and I'm super excited to bring up the next performer. I've just enjoyed how they've evolved over the years that I have known them. And so I'm really, really excited to see what they bring tonight. All of these numbers are new to me. So a lot of these performers, I've seen a couple of their shows recently. They were all involved in system failure, which was an incredible success. Despite its name of being a failure, it 100% was not. It was amazing. It was a system failure, and it was a huge success. And these guys are incredible, and they just rock the house every single night. So with all that, give it up for the next performer, Rose Thornz.
When marimba rhythms start to play, dance with me, make me sway. Like a lazy ocean hugs the shore, hold me close.
Devotion, circling in slow motion. I kiss the lips of a passion, and now I'm out in the open. So follow me into the dark, break up a piece of your heart. Sell it for money and cars. Come on wherever you are. All motivations are, all my temptations are. My heart is racing, the sensation are. I'm with my diamonds out, my time is timeless now. I get so high. The feeling so supersonic. I try to stop but it just can't stop it. Dancing in flames, sway with me, sway.
My kids. These kids are my kids, is what I'm saying. They're my drag kids. My drag kids. We feed them, we water them, we take them for walks. They're important to us. They are. They're the future. They're the future, and I just love them. I love them, and I'm so proud of them. And this next performer, I have been feeding and watering a little longer than the others, I will say. You've been hearing some of her incredible poetry, and now you get to see some of the other art forms that she is involved in. Man, let me tell you, when I saw the first drag performance, especially youth drag performance, and I was like, oh my God, I want my kid to come to this. That was a big deal. That was a really big deal. And she literally, like, I'm trailing now. I'm the one that's like, wait for me though. Wait for me. This next performer breaks barriers everywhere she goes. She's incredible. tonight's performance, I guarantee you, will be filled to the brim with emotion. I am so fucking pumped and excited. Oh, I said a swear word. My bad. It's all ages. That's the only one for the night. Just kidding. It's PG-13. Yeah, please give it up. Big, big, big round of applause for Clairvoyance. told you be filled with emotions. Emotions all over this damn stage. I'm cleaning up emotions every day of my life.
That one's subtitled.
Give it up. Too many props. No, it was subtitled Too Many Carpets, maybe. I don't know. No, that was incredible. That was incredible. One more time for Clairvoyance. Gorgeous. Yeah, these kids, they are incredible. They make their own costumes. They are constantly thinking about drag songs, drag routines, drag costumes, venues, people to drive them to places and feed them when they get there. You know, I mean, it's just a cycle. It's a vicious cycle, and we have to support it. That's all I'm saying. We have to support it. Would you mind putting that donation bucket on that side of the room and then mingling it around to and fro, as we like to say, us old people? So, yeah, I have one more incredible drag performer for you, and then we are headed into our third and final act of the evening, which is going to be some pretty heavy-hitting poets at the end there. I'm one of them. So please stick around for that part of it, and I have this very glittery bracelet if anybody knows. Maybe a performer, maybe here. The only thing I'm throwing at a child today.
That's right.
The only thing. Good job. Next performer is, God damn, they're just all so good. They really are. Yeah, I'm super excited to bring in the last one here. I can't wait to see what they bring tonight. And I know I've said that a million times, but you gotta understand, like this is fun. This is fun for parents, and this is fun for y'all. It's like an interactive show. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the final drag performer of the evening. Please give it up the loudest for Venus Valentine!
You look like you lost your breath. When I circle the room, you and now you gon' twist your head. Don't you come at me green with an attitude. With my lips and my soul's a red. If I leave you behind, you can look for the brokenness. No, 'cause I've been here once or twice. Never worry about the eyes. Come on, don't just stand there staring. Try to move your feet. Teach you what you don't know. I teach you the things that you wanna know. But I can't give it up. All I want you with overdose. Don't you bring any bull in the room tonight. It's a rodeo. It could be you and me, but you know that I'll steal the show. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I've been here once or twice, babe. Never worry about the eyes. Come on, don't just stand there staring. Try to move your feet. You
a little epiphany. I was like, God, this is like what cheer must feel like to straight people. Like, yes, they made the move. All right, flipped. That's how it feels. That's how it feels when you're a mom over here. And they make the move, and they make the jumps, and they do the things, and they don't get hurt. I love it. Thank you so much for watching that part. We are going to get the stage set up and head right into our third and final portion of the evening. I just wanted to say once again, thank you for supporting this community. Thank you for supporting these kids specifically. For all the poets up here, give y'all a hand. You can do better than that. You're killing it. You're doing amazing. Anyways, that's it. That's all my time on hosting.
Give it up for Susanna, everybody. That was amazing. I have been a audience member for a good number of rehearsals and shows, and from the group that just performed, that was some of the best I have ever seen. Y'all killed it. Great fucking job. Sorry. Yes. It's hard for me to watch my mouth. I'm bad at it. We're going to jump right into the poetry in the third portion of the evening here. I feel like I'm breaking this. I don't want to break it.
It's okay. It's fine.
All right. Okay. I'm going to stop touching it is what I'll do. But the next performer coming up to the stage is one of my very best friends. If you have ever seen him perform, you may have seen him at CanaFest last weekend, right? Yes, last weekend. If you have seen him perform, I promise everyone that has ever seen him has thought, I wish I could hear him without the music and just have him tell me his lyrics, because there's so much happening in there. I want to hear everything. Well, now is your chance. That's what's going to happen right now. I firmly believe that the person coming to the stage is one of Humboldt's best kept secrets and one of the most talented writing MCs in the state, if not the country, bar none. I say that with zero attitude. I say that with zero fucking falsity. This is one of my favorite people and one of my favorite humans that is an artist, and he is Flo J motherfucking Simpson. Put your hands together.
Thank you for having me. Very honored to be here, be able to read, share my poetry, because while I rap, it's rhythm and poetry. I just try to make sure that anything that I write, no matter how fast or slow that I'm saying it, can translate into something more than just jotting some shit down. And so here's one I wrote. I just had my son Maximus on, thank you very much. It's 5 months now. So it's one of my first times out, second time out. I was out last Saturday.
That baby is cute.
And yes, he is. And but 8 months into the pregnancy, my rap's just getting fucking, I don't know. Usually I try to keep it positive. And so for me, this is crazy. So I wrote this thing called Killing Time. Yeah. So it's a song, but I'm going to read it to you as I wrote it because I didn't even write it to a beat, but now there's a song. Sorry, forgive me, I'm nervous as fuck. Years of flipping calendars, monthly is weak when life is tough. Getting dazed by the hour ain't quite enough. Till every minute of second thoughts start winding up. Getting every watch in the air, I swear that time is up. Years of flipping calendars, monthly is weak when life is tough. Getting dazed by the hour ain't quite enough. Till every minute of second thoughts start winding up. Getting every watch in the air, I swear that time is up. I'm killing time in a way alarming enough to wake the rich. from eternally sleeping on being woke at their wakes, I wish, or dreaming of the nightmares living will afterlife until their children are broke enough to relate with this, while sitting over graves with an understanding how dangerous it is for skipping steps when not tripping on how 12 gauges kick to run into defeat. Without a way to walk away from different ways, we break a leg on stage for a bag of potato chips. To split with folks so hungry for food for thought that I can't resist trying to unify us around the fact that it's came to this. Like bucks smelling victory, we should actually taste it in the air when hidden licks, unafraid to admit we've ate the rich. When there's nothing left but their bones to pick, with my flaming lit body of work, we're born in the fire they'll be cremated with. Behind bars, I plan on surely earning time by gassing around the clock till sparking conversation since years of flipping calendars monthly is weak when life is tough. And getting dazed by the hour ain't quite enough, till every minute of second thoughts start winding up. Getting every watch in the air, I swear the time is up. I'm killing time until you know why in the hell all the pressure put on to be diamond is making the dirt that I've done in my songs just as deep as the shallowest MCs to try it. Peacefully quiet, I'm rolling up loud enough that you won't hear about seeing me riot. When looking for sounds that are piquing your interest, to picture this darkness is easily blinding. Like stuff in your earlobes, in between your eyelids, you'll struggle to see all this beautiful rhyming while stumbling through my unusual timing to drown in a puddle of poo and saliva, undoubtedly pooling from wide open mouths, still attached to the heads that indeed would survive in their arguments with everybody who dove in search of the deaths they're believed to be dying. While spitting it fresher than chewing some trident, I'll stick to the point some will think I'm Poseidon when riding this wave that I'll use for goodbyes in the ways that you need it, describing a title to cover these thousands of words that are chalked up to brutally ruthless design off the image of outlining who will be hiding inside of the mansions, my people arriving with digital tools for abusing their minds as if pliers and clamps are included, provided receipts that I keep for returning the favor of working them dead as a means of surviving, till buried alive all outside of the box with ideas that I've had since a teen for reminding myself what this mission completed will mean to the fullest of circles and feeling me crying since years of flipping calendars monthly is weak when life is tough and getting dazed by the hour ain't quite enough till every minute of second thoughts start winding up. Getting every watch in the air, I swear that time is up. You will guess what time it is when all the money in the world is not enough to even buy an extra 5 minutes. With the Lord as my witness, or testifying inside a court, the public opinion against this violence isn't an option. When listening is death-defying. Once I have sparked some tightrope to electrifying level of shock and rocking a microphone till it's popping and have an outlet. Plugging how I affect environments with the power for energizing the West, inspiring. Charge of the murder that'll connect how live it is. To bars I will sell on text that I've written, detailing how my messages are frightened into emojis. Learning facts, moving paper that I stack is super OG, or is it? More is it recalling the number of ways to get paid for events that I barely dialed in. That's why I go numb instead of rectifying what you expect from me, digging all in a rectum 9 to 10 inches deeper than you can handle to try and say pause before rewinding enough to get behind, grilling the rich in the very kitchens I flip with no skillet in, making chicken for splitting with the men, women, and children, pissing on squares around tables for they're attempting to fit in the circles of killing to be dead outside of it. But in time will tell everybody found dead or dying since it's become cool to sell the driest nits. You might as well go to hell denying it. Mention my name with respect behind it, or expect to die without an extra life in this game I'm not playing in, meaning pressing my buttons without a couple of sticks will get you ejected for trying to not listen when years of flipping calendars monthly is weak when life is tough and getting dazed by the hour ain't quite enough. Thank you. Two more in there, far shorter than that one. I think I just needed to read that, so thank you guys for listening.
Yes, thank you for bringing it.
So this one, it's called Vowel Movement. It took me a month to write. I wrote it exclusively in A-E-I-O-U in that order, and it was very difficult to make sense of it, to make it make sense. So, I'm about to read it. Here it goes. Almost everything I've offered underground affirmed effort isn't optional and educated. Audiences either ignored or underestimated active MCs intent on upending all expectations and forming opinions used against earnings investigated. Open up another eye of overlooking ultraviolet American English's idle overkill's undeniably awesome effect injecting ordinary undertakings is executing instrumentals overtly undermining average executives' indifference officially. At least animal efficiency instead of unwittingly allowing experts inexplicably opposing unique ability escape. I operate unequivocally, assuming excitable and probably original, unbelievably affable, enlightened individuals observe urban artists economically invisible owners under attack enough. It's often unspectacular, except Earth's imminent obliteration urgently. Actors evacuated in the orbit universally, aligns exaggerations involving our unidentified aliens encounter, invoking only uncertainty around eruptions, incredible odds, and even after exponential investments, overall unneeded, added extra interest onto unlucky-ass entertainers in overshadowing underreported, alarming evil, illegal organizations, ultimate ambitions easily, invites offense, unabashed assholes egregiously intensify online underneath aliases, explaining idealizations, oftentimes unbelievably artificial energy, impact depressiveness, arguing evolution is overrated unless adjustments equal intelligence, outrageously usual. Anything else infers overconfidence, uncontested, bruh. All right, everybody, I owe you sometimes. Why asking enough implies overtime's up. All right, everybody, I owe you sometimes. Why asking enough implies overtime's up. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening to that. Butchered the hell out of it. And then this is one, it's called Hammer Time. Wrote this after my son was born. It's feeling great. I wrote a song about how I cannot dance, and so I tried to use the dances to illustrate how I cannot dance. So I was saying, let's see here. I'm beyond the need of choreography that you will want to think that you should offer me. I would honestly prefer a song to sing that may be out of key, but will be on the beat. Wearing electric slides, I'll moonwalk on the mic. Blacking out as a circuit breaker with shock and delight. Oh, you're in vogue like a dab face that I'm popping despite the fact that I can't dance. But an audience might. You think I'm kidding? Play my music till the bars that I kick are the sole reason I'm bringing these house parties to life. And circle back around my hustle till you're balling enough to travel on shuffling feet to feel like you chartered a flight. And go from hitting the robot that's in the closet to grind and wind up 2 steps from leaning and rocking with height to the dopest lyricist running, man. Almost as nice as the money phone that they pick up after I call it a night. Before I really get busy in the Harlem Shake setting, and you need a fix of the high quality type. As I'm too legit to quit, working harder than most to push a whip, even they will try to floss it for likes. No, and I won't, cause I'm uncoordinated and I sorta hate it. But I kinda love it when I'm sorta faded. My rhythm's in my mind and I can dance in mine. So when I feel the vibe, it's motherfucking hammer time. I'm beyond the need of choreography that you want to think that you should offer me. I would honestly prefer a song to sing that may be out of key but will be on the beat. Now do the twist with Mary Jane and walk it out through these backwoods where you whiskey, tango, foxtrot, feeling that good when it's all said and done after you waltz on my path. Just remember these steps that never get lost if you act hood, as I'm free to go stupid and hit you hard as the sapple once I crank that volume loud as quality packed shit on the weekend at Bernie's to overdo a hangover and rediscover the Dougie like I forgot where I last stood. Fall over tripping when that's all over my head and praying innocence. The freak when it's taken off of my rap book. That's engineering the runway that's on my profit pilot, throwing bows out of boxes made of mahogany black wood full of sprinklers. Yes, I'm uncoordinated, and I sorta hate it, yet I kinda love it when I'm sorta faded. My rhythm's in my mind, and I can dance in mine. And so when I feel the vibe, it's motherfucking hammer time. Thank you very much. I love you all.
Give it up for Flo J. Simpson one more time. Told you. He's real good. Is it okay if I read a poem? I'm gonna read a couple poems. This one, I've been kind of missing my dad, and he retired day before yesterday, I believe it was. So I'm thinking of the old man. It's called Smoke, after Good Ghost Bill. I wasn't afraid to die until I was 40 years old. I wasn't afraid that my dad would die until I was 4 years old. I may have been afraid my dad would die before then, though I do not remember it. The only person I looked up to as a kid who isn't dead is my dad. Now I'm afraid every time the phone rings. My dad was the same age as Basquiat. I hated my dad for not wanting to be an artist. My dad always wanted to be a truck driver. Until 2 days ago, he was. Growing up, we lived just out in the country, just down the road from the county dump, less than a mile away. You could always smell the rich people's trash at our house, especially in the rain, though you pretended not to be polite. We were too poor, too white trash to afford the fees for trash service. We burned our trash in 50-gallon drums out back of the barn. We warmed our hands while we tried to avoid the toxic smoke. I always wanted to be a poet. The shine of my legacy drips slow, soft across my micless stage and stageless stage, eyes only out to see my soul. The brain beat itself against the inside of my skull until my sight spun and rolled back to the back of the room. Underfoot and feet, the choked children are a hard cliche. The rain comes quick as a housefly or a house fire. All the lovely, all the angry, all the dichotomies rush past, and I do nothing except hide outside the chapel and smoke. And then, as always, I pass out words like apple seeds, burn notebooks like bridges. I always burn something, trash, notebooks, bridges. Like my skin is as loose as lava. My pores pour tears that feel like blood, and I wish it was. I wish it was. I wish the volcano that is my heart would grow into more than a gravestone, waiting to be molded, waiting for its graveyard, waiting to be cooled in the rain, waiting to burn, waiting for the lovely embrace of fire, waiting to smoke. Wood grows until it burns, is growing right now, actively grows like mold, like cotton balls smolder and shrink and smoke, and a flower already picked, a matter of time before wilted. I try to fight the decomposition, though too green to burn, I watch it smoke. The burn of cough makes me forget how to spell. I stumble over my pen again. I fight the fallen pages and lose myself inside an active thought that rumbles past the fire of passion faster than life, close enough to smell the smoke. I once looked for a copy of a book for 20 years, found it in the rain, wrapped it in my backpack, took it to the top of Coit Tower and called my dad. I told him how long I looked for these poems. He said, "That's good, son." And nothing else. It stopped raining. I thought about how one person's treasure is another person's afterthought. I go outside into the cool air, I roll a joint, and I smoke. The rain dries, and I smoke. That's all this poem has really said, just in a few different ways. I wrote it for my father. He is oak and fire, and I am smoke. Pop my lungs, and poems are filled with all that you have been. I'm all try to be better than you, for you. In every single scene you have seen, it hasn't been much, though it's more than I can believe. I smoke because of you. I write because of you. Everywhere I go will be because you won't. I hope you see something through my eyes. When I burn out, when I spread across the clouds, I hope it makes you proud. I know I never meant to, but I know I'll let you down. They will remember us more than the melted ghosts we were. When we go out, when they burn us up, I hope we smoke. So I guess I should change the title because this person moved, but there used to be, I guess, if I could find the fucking poem. Sorry. There it is. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and I give him the finger. I see him almost every day. He has friends. I have seen them. He owns a roofing company with employees, and I wonder if any of them have ever seen the obvious Confederate flag with the swastika in the center that hangs in his living room. You can see the flag through the front window of his house displayed as prominently as a family photo. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and he is an Indianapolis Colts fan. Has a Colts fan only parking sign hanging on his house. I've seen him in blue and white and Colts hats, and I hate the color blue more because of him. Hate the Colts more, hate the NFL more because of him. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and there's nothing I can do about it. I've given him 1,000 middle fingers that have turned to smiles on his face, the construction of a fence. A fence that I hope will be high enough to block the sight of the flag and the racists from daily vision, less intrusive. And isn't that the definition of my liberal whiteness? Keep it out of sight, less prominent in my life, the option to ignore it, the option to look the other way, to look straight ahead, to ignore him. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and my Jewish blood mocks me, howls, sarcastic laughter in my brain, calls me Ash, coward, calls me Briquette, the willing dead, says, do something about it like I could. Like I haven't already thought about the empty street after 10 p.m., how quiet the neighborhood is, how the cross street behind his house is mostly occupied by businesses that are empty after 6 p.m., how they mostly have cameras, though. Like, I haven't already thought about the gas station on the next block over. Like, I haven't already thought about how fire spreads as fast as hate. Like, I haven't already thought about his children and dog and my kids and grandbabies and getting caught and going back to jail, about the work I've done, about the work I could do, about my wife. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and I want to ask him if he teaches his children this hate. If he knows that the Indianapolis Colts have had like 4 black quarterbacks. I want to ask him why he has the flag. What happened to him to make him feel this way. I want to tell him that none of it excuses his disgusting display, that he's wrong, that he's generalizing, that his time is over. I want to tell him that he can't block out the world with a fence, that he just doesn't understand, that he should die, that I want to tell him that he should die, that people like him should die off, that he's a piece of shit. I want to tell him, fuck you, you don't belong here. Get out of my neighborhood, get out of my city, get out of my country. My country. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and I'm a hypocrite for telling him to get out, for telling him to die off, for hating him, for being so angry, for saying he doesn't belong here, for calling it mine in any way. There's a racist on the corner of Union and Everding, and I give him the finger. I don't know what else to do. So, last poem I'm going to do is about the next poet comes to the stage and is was the host of the drag portion and is the love of my life and the only reason anything I ever do is good. I love you. Shh, don't argue with me. The person I'm married to is so cool, they're always the other side of the pillow. The person I'm married to is so powerful, they grab lightning by the bolt and make thunder clap for them like everyone should. The person I'm married to has skin so smooth, they almost filed a trademark violation claim against Silk and Satin, but dropped the lawsuit because the person I'm married to is so satin and silk, smooth, nice, they couldn't put the public out by not allowing the sale of something that at least have the sliver of the similar tactile feel. The person I'm married to is so goddamn dynamic they don't need to be part of a duo, but thankfully choose to be. The person I am married to can melt glaciers with their smile, refreeze them with their stare. The person I'm married to can be so beautiful they make Helen of Troy look like Gertrude of Ohio. The person I'm married to can be so handsome that they make John Hamm and Sean Bean look like a bean and ham breakfast in Blackpool, England. The person I'm married to is so unstoppable that tsunamis beg for their forgiveness and turn around mid-wave, and they can do the same thing with salesmen, surgeons, and Mormons. They can start their car by looking at it nicely. I've seen them. The person I am married to makes gender norms fold inside themselves 8 times into confidence. The person I am married to has held entire rooms hostage for 60 consecutive seconds without them ever knowing why or trying. The person I am married to makes the sun shine for all of us. Not only did they hang the moon, they move it each night for aesthetic purposes and feng shui. They heal for a living, for fun, in their spare times, in their dreams, in my dreams, probably in yours. Y'all are nasty. The person I'm married to is making a difference every day. That's healing hands, a healing soul. The person I'm married to carries a family of 10, almost 11 on their shoulders, and in the palm of their hand, the person I am married to is the story of perfection. The person I am married to is not a woman or a man. The person I am married to is everything. And they're everything, including the next poet coming to the stage. Susanna puts in as much work in the poetry community as anyone, and I cannot thank them enough for all of it that they do, and all of the work they do in multiple communities. They are actively making this county safer, and that is a beautiful thing. I love you more than you will ever know, and I am very excited to hear your poetry. Y'all make some noise for Susanna Gibson.
He was pretty cool when I met him, by the way. That ain't all that true. Really quickly, I just wanted to thank Wil for hosting and for putting this all together. These poetry series, these events wouldn't happen without you. And I don't think you get enough credit for that. I don't think you get enough credit for any of the work that you do in your life. And so I'm going to do that on stage in front of people because you deserve it. So thank you. I also wanted to thank Flo J for coming up and showing up to this show and bringing some fucking fire to the stage with less than 24 hours notice, y'all. I called them yesterday and was like, hey, I don't know if you're down, but like, would you like to be on the stage? And they were like, yeah, absolutely, when and where. So thank you so much for coming out. This was amazing. Thank you, Autumn. I'm so glad you are still here and your parents are stuck at your school. I am so glad because I get to thank you on stage for coming out and opening the show. I am so incredibly proud of you. You are an incredible poet. I am also a youth poet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then lastly, of course, I want to thank the drag folk that came on stage. Yes, they were so good. A special thank you to both of my kids, Harvey and Ollie. They are my life, my breath. They make my heart beat. And of course, lastly, to Wil once again for making my heart beat fast. Hey, Google. I tell her to take me places even though I am driving the car, and then I don't listen. I see them as suggestions to get back at me for ignoring her. She tells me a different route every time, and we go back to a new location making deals with ADHD behind my back to keep me guessing. She does this so I continue to need her. I admit it's a little codependent. She passive-aggressively reroutes, which feels comfortable. We have a complicated relationship. I am the only one who can use Google Maps in my car. She doesn't really work for anybody else, and this secretly makes me happy, like a boyfriend whose woman mean mugs all the other females. My Google Maps is loyal. She also is secretly happy, like I know that she isn't really mad I missed the turns she suggests I take. I tell myself her pretend annoyance is feigned and that she loves the way I lean on her. I tell her that she is the only thing steady in a world that keeps changing. I tell myself that I need her in my life, even though that I am the driver. Even though I lived half my life without Google Maps and always managed to get where I was supposed to go, except that one time I ended up 50 miles past Sacramento, headed east to Lake Tahoe. We have a complicated relationship. I don't really understand why she has me turn right in 500 feet when the faster way, the more pleasant drive, is to just stay on the road I'm on. She is enigmatic like that. Like when your auntie keeps trying to feed you, I find myself in a drive through with no way to turn around, ordering food I don't want just to make her happy. It's only after I get a plate that she will take me to where I actually want to go, even though I'm the driver. Some people would say this is a toxic relationship, or at the very least unhealthy, that it's not the route that turns yellow and then red, it's the flags. If I must have an unhealthy relationship, I choose to make it with an imaginary personality that lives in my car's dashboard computer. If the well-worn grass path to my inside cemetery must be used, I might as well have a destination be digital. My relationship with Google Maps is complicated. So my relationships with real people are real and simple and healthy. She resents me so that I am allowed to believe my family appreciates me. She allows me the luxury to watch minutes fluctuate to my destination so I can dream about the precious moments I have with my person. She takes me 7 minutes out of my way to an added stop I don't need so that when I am not the driver, I will be efficient and confident and make good choices that real people need me to make. I wouldn't say I intentionally misunderstand her directions, but when I do, it's the only time in my life that it doesn't actually matter. I do not need anyone's help to find my way home. When I get in the car, as often as possible, I say, "Hey Google, take me home." And she never lets me down. Thank you. I heard that in the back. I have 2 more poems, and then we are going to close out the show with a little bit of music, and y'all get to go home to your lives and your people. These are all actually new poems, which is kind of exciting to read new poetry on a stage in Arcata. This is really cool. I heard that from outside. If you didn't know, we used to get on stage and say, "New shit!" And then Wil always says, "Recent pieces." That's what we said. There it is. Old times. That's been a year and a half in the making. This is where my breath is, a reduction. A relaxed hand, loose grip, fingers laced. Gray-green new growth of redwood ancestors, that sun-filled patio where, yes, I ran to meet you. Touch the dashboard at the county line. We are home. In the garden, always there, a prayer. Along the folds of a blue sky, and it can't rain all the time. Between subway grates of our poems that began before we met and ended after. On canvas, pigmented and still drying. Daddy Longlegs gets to live inside and with my dog who waits and waits for me to come home. Dream self, traced outline, always too small. My heartstone children who breathe too. Sand and ocean, river and rock, hummingbirds, and even the ants that tunnel underneath. Loose lace chucks with stains on stains, a swept floor, even the corners clean. Espresso and blunts on the back porch, opalescent, big flash of love like ours. Pulled mulch splinters after a shower, a Mother's Day flower. Inside a moth's teacup, the angel who gives more than she takes. Shag carpet and dream catcher twists, soft as I can hold this newborn. A corduroy shade of my eyes at sundown, Kevin on the corner, he sees me this time. Feather grain frayed and faded with time, strawberries and sage, apple red rose hips, the so hard laugh we gasp and cry, real tears. Forgiveness for the welts after the fleas have bitten, it's on all parts of the feather that returns, and still with the ones I've lost. It should be free no matter the cost. It should be free no matter the cost. And this last poem, I chose specifically to read in this town. I'm really excited to be here, and I thank you all for coming here and coming to this show and coming and spending time with us. It's called Enjoy the Sunshine. I say this, which confuses us both. It's foggy today, like usual. I live in a town that feels like a different temperature than it is. For example, there are more hippies in Houdini than in all of Berkeley, California. Yet the courthouse remains mostly Republican. The incorporated regions are still mostly racist and mostly white in town and toxic in the classroom. We liberals watch from the comfort of our coffee shops. We go home to tend our own gardens behind locked gates. For a person who comes from such natural beauty, I spend a lot of time inside. I don't often know the weather. Where I work, I can see only the sky through the windows. I imagine I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand how it can be 65 degrees outside and feel like 75 or 55. If you're from here, you understand what I mean. A while back, I heard a poem about how beautiful Eureka was by a ballpoint pen in a poetry class. It was performed in an art museum that used to be a library. The poem ended with a complaint about the color of used needles. My favorite thing about Jar Gigi is that our ink is the same color, which means we are all pens in the jar. No one is a teacher or healer to others who are wounded or students. We are all on our own path, collectively healing and harming each other. I want to go back and ask that poet if she'd ever had to go without, if she has ever spoken to a person with no home to go to without a "be grateful for this granola bar" in her tone. I want to know if she has any sons your age in her voice. I want to ask when she raised the price of her love and why she charges so much. It seemed like once it might have been free. When I was younger, I played in the rain often. I found waterfalls and streams and frogs and butterflies and climbed trees and suffered horrible sinus infections and made grass angels and ate huge sandwiches in courtyards on the ground at that college right over there. And I went to house parties and drank too much, and I walked everywhere, and I jumped in big puddles, and I walked through red-wooded paths, barefoot with nothing to guide me save the trees. On a black ink night, and I wasn't alone. I don't know when I stopped going outside. Lately it's felt cold in some parts of Humboldt. I gravitate towards warmer patches of this countryside, putting energy into the gardens that grow. I learned once again this year, it's not just an old lady or the hicks who are hateful. When I was younger, I worried I wasn't a good mother. I worried I wasn't a good person, that I would raise little, tiny, not good people. And when the kids were sent home for arguing with their teachers and organizing protests, and when they befriended houseless folks outside Safeway and brought friends to live with us and loved us, even though we made bad parenting decisions, I worried less about my quality as a mother, and I still try every day to be a better person. You will not see hateful comments here. If I charge a price for any love I give, I hope it's fair. Homelessness and drug use don't ruin poems or towns or people. In this county, they just make it harder to feel the warmth of the sun. Thank you. And that concludes tonight's event. Thank you all again so much for coming. Tomorrow night at Fancy Klein's, we have the open mic. 5 p.m. poetry workshop, 6 to 8 is the open mic, and that is tomorrow night. On Saturday night is one of our bigger events. It's the historic Eagle House. We have some incredible features. Ana Martinez, the poet laureate of New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Sorry. will be there, and she's incredible. And then on Sunday we have some more events, and we'll tell you about those as we close out the night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're gonna come up here because I can't read. It's too small. Even with my glasses.
Okay. So, yeah, on Sunday, of course, there's the poetry workshop. Every Sunday there's a poetry workshop. And that is completely free. All of the events that we have are by donation. No one will be turned away for lack of funds. That includes the Eagle House. By all means, if you cannot afford to get into the Eagle House show and you get to the door and you can't afford it, you say, Will said I have a ticket. Then they will come get me and I will come let you in. Okay? Good. So that's Saturday at the Eagle House. Sunday morning is at Synapsis Union in Eureka. And then after that, there's a poet purchase party and poet potluck. So from 3 to 6, all of the poets that have merchandise to sell will have tables set up at Synapsis. My brain just stopped. I don't know. Sorry. At Synapsis, we will have a bunch of tables set up. All local artists and local poets are asked to come and sell their wares. We will not take any of the money that you make. We're not asking you to purchase a table. We will provide the damn table. Just come and sell your stuff. Come and hang out. That's also at Synapsis from 3 to 6. And then that's it. We'll also probably set up a microphone and have an open mic because it's poets. And poets, someone's going to want to read, you know. So we'll probably set up that. But also there'll be a potluck. If you can bring something to feed a poet, bring something to feed a poet. If you can't, come and get something to eat. I'm going to make brisket because I'm Jewish and from the South. Both of those things make me want brisket, I think. But, yeah, so all of that's true, including the thing about the brisket. So please tip your bartender on the way. I don't know why that is what came to my head, but wave to everyone that performed and say thank you to everyone that performed as you leave, and have a great night. Hope to see you at the other events. Bye.